Hello everyone, my name is Brian and welcome back to another Assassin Apocalypse. This time around we are going to take a look at Bastet. Actually one of, I think a very old assassin actually. Way back in the beta days she was already released. And she's pretty interesting. I don't think she's played too often, but she can definitely be strong in certain situations. Depending on how the opponents are reacting to it, and the fact that it also depends on how you are building her, of course. So let's start off with her passive. If she uses her 1, her 2 or her 3 on an enemy, there will be a bleed, a wound applied to the enemy. This wound will cause the next ability, your 1, your 2 or your 3, to deal 15% additional damage. So if you will hit someone with an attack, with your 1 for instance, then you can deal additional damage with, for instance, your 2. This wound will stay on the target for 3 seconds, so you have some time to follow it up, but it's not a persistent wound, it will be removed. As you can see here, dealing a good amount of damage already. So let's continue on with her 1. You've seen me use it a few times already. It is her leap. And it's a very interesting leap. It has a feature to it that none other leap have. It is the fact that you can leap back from the position you came from. So you can leap towards your enemy, towards the location. This will deal damage, good amount of damage in a large area of effect actually. And you'll have the opportunity to leap back to the location where you came from. While you have this opportunity, you'll also have increased movement speed by 25%. Nice. You have 4 seconds to leap back, and there is a timer on yourself that will count down the time you have to leap back. So you kind of need that to take into consideration when you do want to return to your location. It is actually quite obvious where you come from usually. So that's also something, if they saw where you came from, they know that if you leap back you will go back to that position, and that can be very difficult to deal with. So the second ability, you've seen me use it a lot. I max it out first. It is a bleed, and it bleeds for a lot of damage. It bleeds every single second and it deals a good amount of damage. And as you can see, I use the bleed on the Ares. Throughout kitty cats, getting a triple kill already very early on, and that last final kill will be there as well as the 5th. I have a quadra already. It's not usually as easy as it looks this time. Let's just keep it to that. So second ability, bleed, stays for 4 seconds, hits every single second. Not a lot in addition to it, other than it has some feature with her ultimate as well, but I'll get back to that later once I get to the ultimate. The third ability is declaw. You will throw out a little claw, as you can see here. It hits a target, it will stop on the first target, can be minion, can be guard, and it will deal damage and slow the target. But it also will deal in a small area around it where you hit it, it will deal the slow. As you can see, I hit both of them while hitting the Cupid, and the Poseidon was in range. So this means that you can hit multiple targets with it, slowing them as well. This slow will be 30% slow, and it will persist for 2 seconds total. So it's not a long slow, but it's a decent slow altogether, and it is very long range. You have a little wound up time on it to throw it out, kind of aim it as well. If you're quick enough, you can adjust aim a bit while you are casting it. So let's continue with her final ability, and those are the kitty cats. You'll throw out 3 cats, and they will attack a nearby target, dealing damage, slowing them as well. The slow will be 20%, so there's a 20% slow on each auto attack of those cats. 3 of the cats are there. They will persist for 10 seconds total, or when they are killed. So if they have, for instance, a Poseidon ultimate, they can almost one-shot them, I think, or basically one-shot them. So they will not be an issue at that point, but when they are allowed to do whatever they want, then they will deal a huge amount of damage. As you can see, I throw them out already. They keep chasing the Anubis, and 1 basic is enough to finish him off, but 2 cats died because of the Anubis ultimate. So you see, they are quite squishy, so to speak. Early game they're very powerful, their health and stats are just way better in the early than in the late game. Late game they can be one shot very easily, but in the early game they have 500 health at rank 1 with 20 protections on both sides, up to a maximum of 700 HP at maximum rank, so not an awful lot of increase, and the protections go up to 60 protections on both sides. So it is a decent amount of protections they get, but late game it comes down to if you have a good AoE ability, then you will pretty much one-shot them, and that is something annoying to deal with sometimes. So, one thing that I wanted to mention, the fact that it has some cohesion with her 2. When you use your 2 to bleed on someone, the cat will always prioritize those targets when they are attacking. So if someone has that bleed on them, the cats will go for them. So that way you can kind of direct them to the target you're dealing the most damage to with your bleed. So that's a very interesting thing. Ares' ultimate is on me, I need to use my beats, I go in aggressively, and I noticed he used his escape already, so he has no real place to go and one auto is enough, but the timer on my lead back was gone, so I didn't have the opportunity to lead back, and I was picked up after that Kraken came out. I pick up the Aegis, of course, it's a very good item, especially against this team comp. Okay, so I wanted to talk a bit more about her 1 before I head into the items. So, her 1 is very interesting one because you can't leap when you're crippled, or CC'd for that matter. But if you go in and you get instantly CC'd, as you can see here, I don't have my beats, I have my Aegis, but since I'm surrounded by 5, I instantly get destroyed. Beautiful rep from the Anubis. I leaped in, he used his rep instantly, stunning me. The Ares chained me, and the chain cripples me, preventing me from being able to leap back. So cripples are extremely powerful, as well as a good CC combination to pin down a Bastet. Especially Ares with his chains, his cripple is the longest in the game I think, other than perhaps. As you can see, Cupid waited actually for me at the position I left, instantly providing the hard bomb on my, well, when I got back. But like I was saying, cripples are very difficult to deal with as a Bastet, because you can't leap once and you can't leap back when you are crippled. So they have a lot of cripples in this team comp. They have the Cupid ultimate, they have the Poseidon Whirlpool, as well as the Ares chains, and that Anubis has that stun, of course. So I do need to be a bit careful that when I go in with my leap, I don't get CC'd, because I don't have a good way back. So that's also something that is interesting to know. Also, a small detail I've got to mention, her 2, her bleed, has kind of a cone-shaped ability, and she attacks from left to the right, if I remember correctly. So, let's continue with her build. You start off with the Jotuns, not the Jotuns, with the power boost, of course, the Warrior Tabais. It's very powerful, she relies on power a lot, so I definitely recommend getting that one instead of any other options. After that, the Jotuns is a very good option. You could also go for the Transcendence if you really rely on the mana, if you have issues with the mana. And what you usually want to do is use your 3, for instance, to slow someone, then hit your 2. Your 2 has the most damage on it. When you use an other ability to get a passive on someone, you can deal additional damage with your other abilities. So that way you can just deal a lot. And as you can see, he doesn't have anything on me at this point. I can just use my cats, run him down. You can use sprint against the slow, but the cats are quite fast, as you saw there, and we're able to pick him up rather easily. But the Ares is way too tanky, I can't really chase up to him, so I won't. I definitely will not, but I'm so fat. Already 10 kills, so definitely good option for me to pick up that rep buff. So, I picked up the Jotuns. The cooldown reduction are very powerful for our abilities, as well as the fact that you just have a lot of power and a bit of pan. The what's called Transcendence, of course, is for the additional mana. There are other options, for instance the Breastplate. I'm going for Breastplate next, and that's just for the fact that it provides me that full cooldown reduction, which is very powerful, as well as the fact that I have more mana with it. So combining those really help you keep up with the mana department. In Arena, not as important as in other game modes perhaps, but I still like to spam my abilities because they deal so much damage. See here, leap in, almost 500 damage on the lead. That's also something that's interesting. You'll see leveled up differently. You can go for the leveling up your 3 before you level up your 1 to max. I like to level up my 1 to max because it will deal about 500 damage, as you saw there. And that way it's just a lot more damage overall. As you can see, basic. My 2 wasn't even necessary anymore. We pick up the Ares rather easily. So there's just an awful lot of damage on her abilities, so you want to augment that as much as possible. Full cooldown reduction is very powerful to just use a lot on them. And as you see, actually that happened, you saw him stop moving, and that was for the fact that I was used my beats, preventing the cripple, was able to leap back, and they actually surrender. So when you use beats, you can leap back when you are crippled. So that's also an option, but when they are down, you don't have that option of course. So what happened there to the Hercules? He got body blocked by the cats. If you surround someone with your cats, they can actually body block him, keeping him in that space, so he can't actually move anywhere. And as you can see, insane amount of damage, 18k already. It was about 10 minutes, actually they surrendered at the 10-minute mark, so just insane amount of damage done. And my build wasn't even finished at all. What I would have probably gotten is either, after the breastplate, either the Titan's Bane, if I really felt like the defense that comes out is too annoying to deal with. Or maybe Shifter. Shifters is a very good option as well at this moment, because it provides you 60 power and protections when you're above 50% health, and when you're below 50% health you have additional protection. So it's just insane overall. Very cheap as well. They changed it to 2400. Even when it was 2700 I sometimes picked it up, but now definitely when it's 2400, definitely recommend picking that one up. So very powerful, but you really need to be careful, especially if someone is very aware of you. You can have a difficult time. This composition should have been a lot better against me, because one Ares Chain, one Anubis Stun, one Cupid Ultimate, one Whirlpool, one Driving Strike, one good ability from any of those gods, and I would not been able to leap back. So then I don't have my escape ability. I'm in the middle of the fight. I am quite squishy because I'm an assassin, so that's also a good reason to pick up breastplate perhaps. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys learned something, and as always, good luck, have fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one.